Stop trying to sound smart. In the boardroom, complexity is a liability, not an asset. For years, we've been taught that demonstrating our intelligence means diving deep, showcasing every nuance, every variable, every intricate detail. In academia, proving you're a genius often means speaking in a language only your peers can understand. But step into the executive suite, and that entire philosophy flips on its head. The most powerful skill you can cultivate, the one that separates true leaders from the rest, isn't about how much you know, but how elegantly you can strip it all away. We're talking about high-stakes simplification, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why it's your most potent weapon. Think about it. We've all been in those meetings. Someone's presenting a critical project, a new market strategy, or a massive organizational change. They start with a flurry of acronyms, intricate flowcharts, and a seemingly endless stream of data points. Their goal? To prove they've thought of everything, that no stone was left unturned. But what often happens? The eyes glaze over. The message gets lost. Decision makers, who are constantly bombarded with information, don't have the luxury of time to untangle an intellectual Gordian knot. They need clarity, speed, and actionable insights. The truth is, if you can't explain a massive, multivariable problem in a way that anyone in the room, from the CEO to the newest intern, can grasp within 30 seconds, then you don't understand it well enough to lead it. This isn't about dumbing down, it's about distillation. It's about having such a profound grasp of the issue that you can isolate its absolute core, identify the critical drivers, and articulate the essential solution or next step with absolute precision. Consider the challenge faced by the leadership team at a well-known tech giant. They were grappling with declining user engagement on their flagship product. The initial analysis presented by the product team was a 50-slide deck, detailing everything from back-end architecture inefficiencies to competitor strategies, microtransaction data, and a deep dive into user psychology spanning multiple demographics. It was exhaustive, brilliant in its depth, and utterly overwhelming. The CEO stopped the presentation 20 minutes in. "Give me the headline," she demanded. "What's the single biggest thing driving this decline, and what's the one thing we can do about it right now?" The team stammered. They had all the pieces, but couldn't assemble them into that executive logic. The meeting ended with confusion, not clarity. Contrast that with a small startup I advised. They needed to pivot their entire business model. The situation was dire, cash was burning, and the decision had to be made quickly. The founder, instead of presenting a myriad of market research reports, walked into the board meeting with a single whiteboard. On it, he'd drawn 3 circles: our core competency, market opportunity, and customer pain point. He then drew a simple arrow connecting them, explaining, "We excel at X. The market needs Y, and our customers are hurting because of Z. Our pivot solves Z using X to capture Y." 30 seconds. Everyone understood. The board approved the pivot, not because he had more data, but because he had distilled it into undeniable, actionable truth. This ability to simplify is a muscle. You build it by forcing yourself to ask, what is the absolute essence here? What's the one thing that truly matters? It means cutting through the noise, ignoring the interesting but non-essential details, and focusing relentlessly on the impact and the solution. It requires confidence, not arrogance, to stand firm on a simple message when others might demand more complexity. This executive logic isn't about being simplistic, it's about achieving ultimate clarity. It shows you've processed the chaos, navigated the variables, and emerged with a clear path forward. It builds trust, fosters alignment, and accelerates decision-making. In a world drowning in data, the ability to surface the signal from the noise is not just a skill, it's a superpower. It tells everyone in the room that you haven't just read the reports, you've owned the problem. So, how do you cultivate this? Practice explaining your toughest challenges to someone completely outside your field, a child, a friend from a different industry. If they can grasp the core issue and the proposed solution, you're on the right track. Eliminate jargon. Focus on outcomes. And always remember, true understanding isn't proven by how complex you can make something sound, but by how effortlessly simple you can make it for others to understand and act upon. This isn't just about sounding smart, it's about leading effectively.